This is relevant because it affects our power supply. Last year, gunmen attacked a PG&E substation in South San Jose. Many people think it was an act of terrorism.
The question now is, could it happen again? PG&E says it has beefed up with high-level security, but our hidden cameras tell a different story. Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski with an eye-opening investigation. And Tony, a clear difference of opinion.
A clear difference, Jess, and here's why this issue should concern everyone in Northern California and the country. A successful attack on multiple substations could cause a major blackout, not for days or weeks, but potentially for months and more than a year. As you watch tonight, understand we did not break any laws, and the vulnerability we are exposing is already known to those who may want to cause harm. That's why we're holding PG&E accountable for protecting the electricity we all need. You're watching video from a security camera at the Metcalf substation. It shows sparks from the bullets, but cameras never captured images of the gunman.
There were 100 or so rounds.
It took 19 minutes to destroy 17 transformers, an attack that had the potential to black out much of Silicon Valley.
This is far more than vandalism. This is a serious attack.
These two veteran deputies responded minutes after the attack, agreeing only to talk if we protected their identities.
I believe that it was a terrorist attack.
These were pros.
San Jose Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren and other ranking government leaders have raised concerns that Metcalf may foreshadow a more robust attack.
A trial run is what it looked like to me.
But now, nearly a year and a half later, no one has taken responsibility, and the FBI has not made an arrest.
Those substations need to have enhanced security. There was basically none at PG&E.
I'll tell you what, it was a game changer. It was a wake-up call for the industry.
In this video posted on PG&E's website, the utility responded to the attack, promising to increase security by spending $100 million over the next 3 years.
That we really needed to take a look at our physical assets, take a hard look at them to determine what can we do to protect them better.
It's a problem utilities have known about for decades. Take a look. This 1981 report to Congress includes the nation's electric power systems are highly vulnerable. And a congressional report issued this year quotes former Director of Homeland Security Michael Chertoff predicting damage of the Metcalf attack will be exceeded in a future attack.
We're taking aggressive action to ensure that the security of our critical infrastructure is protected.
So our investigation takes a closer look. The question, just how aggressive is PG&E in protecting critical substations? We're driving in now to a large substation in the Central Valley. To find out, over several weeks, we drove more than 1,600 miles through Northern and Central California. We're going to walk up to this gate. Unannounced visits during the day and late at night.
It's 2:30 in the morning.
We observed and tested PG&E's security during 14 visits to 9 of the largest and most critical substations.
The only thing separating us from that transformer is a small hill, an open gate, and a chain-link fence.
One of the changes PG&E promised, 24/7 on-site security. We did see an individual in a vehicle on the south side, but so far, after 20 minutes, nobody has stopped by to ask us any questions or ask us to leave. Our investigation did find security guards at 7 of the 9 substations.
I know you got your recorder. I don't care. You can record me all you want.
This paid security guard answered our questions after spotting our camera. He provided information and never asked who we were or why we were there. Are you here 24/7?
We're here 24/7.
What kind of shifts you running?
6 to 6. I can't be telling you.
12. But at 2 large substations, we found no visible security guards.
I don't see anybody.
And at that same substation, we found this open gate, and later, a PG&E employee
Hi there.
answered our questions. We're just really curious about the facility. Is there anybody here on site?
It's not a manned. It used to be manned, but it's not anymore.
No security?
Yeah, there's security. There's cameras all around there.
But nobody on site?
No.
Okay.
I'm looking for people.
Our investigation also included observations and insight from a military veteran with 2 decades of experience in special operations. He's trained to do threat and risk assessments. How intimidating is the security presence you've seen so far?
It wouldn't stop me. It wouldn't stop anything. I mean, it wouldn't.
We did find PG&E has clearly increased security in the wake of the Metcalf attack. At 2 locations, we were approached
And there's a guy in that car looking right at us.
And engaged.
Picked us up pretty darn quick. That's good. He's pushing you off site.
But at many other major substations, what we found appeared well short of significant and aggressive.
It's a thermal imaging camera. We're able to pan across the substation. It recognizes hot spots.
Staying on public property, at several locations we got close enough to use a heat detecting camera and identify transformers in the dark. We've spent almost an hour within about 200 yards of this apparent security vehicle. He has not moved. He has not asked us any questions. PG&E also promised to cut back vegetation and eliminate potential hiding places. This is probably the closest we've been to any substation. At this substation, we found an ideal hiding place just outside the fence, cuts in the barbed wire, and overgrown vines. What's that say to you?
It says you just made a 6-foot fence and you made it 3 foot tall, because I can put my foot right there and the barbed wire is not there, so it's non-existent. I'm simply saying that this layer of security is non-existent.
The most significant security upgrades were here at the Metcalf substation. Increased lighting, 2 on-site security guards, and the only substation with fencing to obstruct a direct view to the transformers. Upgrades that failed last month to prevent vandals from cutting through this fence, entering the facility, and stealing construction equipment. A break-in that went unreported for 5 hours. You were out at Metcalf. Is it still vulnerable to an attack today?
It's vulnerable to the same kind of attack from a different angle.
Because of potential future assignments, the special ops veteran asked us not to show his face. He reviewed our entire investigation and spent 2 days visiting substations, ultimately finding failures in PG&E promises to aggressively increase security.
I think they get a passing grade, but is passing good enough? Is the minimum enough? And I think not.
Would you call PG&E security right now high-level security?
Yes, I think for our critical facilities, we have high-level security there, yes.
Stephanie Douglas is PG&E's Senior Director of Security. We asked her to provide specific details regarding our 14 unannounced visits to substations. Can you tell us where we've been and when?
I'll let you tell me. I do know a couple of places that you've been, and I know that you've been to visiting some of our sites at night.
That's part of our test here. Can you tell us where we were and when?
Tony, I'll let you give me some ideas.
NBC Bay Area has made several requests, and PG&E has refused to provide specific details, showing us that the utility's high-level on-site security net was able to track our unannounced visits. Do you think PG&E has done enough now to prevent another Metcalf attack?
We are working every day to make sure it never happens again, Tony.
If guys are trained like you, what could be done? How long would it take?
Metcalf could be repeated across all the sites that you showed me in less than 15 minutes.
And one note for you, we intentionally did not tell you where we went, but you should know the internet and publicly available documents make it very easy for people with wrong intentions to locate the largest and most critical substations. So here's your takeaway. PG&E says it has high-level security, but it was unable to tell us where we were and when we were there. We find that telling. And a high-ranking former member of government says that bottom line, PG&E needs to move faster. We'll hear more from him tomorrow night.
Disconcerting for a lot of people. Thank you, Tony. We'll see you tomorrow.